again everyone, and welcome if you're new. I'm Hayley at Raising Blooms. Today I've got some seedlings that I'd like to pot up, and I'm going to give you a little update on my seed snails. If you watched that video, I actually was very successful with those. My seedlings are doing great, but they are looking a little bit overcrowded now and they will need to be potted on. Another job this weekend that I want to crack on with is cleaning my greenhouse. If you saw a glimpse of that in my previous video, you will know that's a mess. That really needs gutting out and cleaning and washing down, so that will be something that I'll do this weekend. So hopefully you'll stay tuned and join me for all of that. One other thing I also wanted to update you on are my cuttings that we took of the verbena. If you remember, I think that was in the last video, we took some cuttings of the verbena bonariensis. I said that when I was cutting them down, I will take off some of the green shoots, and I just put them in a little vase of water. And I just wanted to give you a little update on those because I'm quite impressed on the progress of those two. So here is my vase of cuttings, and I don't know if I can bring you in. Yeah, look, can you see all the roots? How cool is that? So there we go. I think I've done 6 cuttings of those, and they're actually growing as well. So they've grown quite a length. I'm really happy with those. So if you haven't yet cut down your verbena and you're still got that job on your list to do, definitely take some cuttings and get some free plants to fill in some gaps in your other borders. Why not? Here is a little update on the seeds I sowed, in the last video. The ones that are doing okay seem to be my broccoli, my purple sprouting broccoli, and my cosmos. So far we have some germination with. Nothing else. Here's a few little sweet peas here. These ones are the ones that are really fragrant. They're the bright purple ones, and they are gorgeous. And over here we have my seed snails. Look, these are my peas. I'm going to get those out as well this weekend. They should be out already in the bed, to be honest. Here are my snapdragons, and these ones are sweet williams, which I'm really happy with those. I don't think I got such good germination last year. Not so much on the salvia, unfortunately. They were old seeds, so not surprised really there. And here are the colourful snapdragons as well. See, they're quite overcrowded now. They're going to need more space in their own pots, so that's going to be a big job. Here are my tomatoes. No germination there. I sowed those last week, but it's still early days. My Dahlia seedlings over here looking great. They also need to be potted on now. They're getting to good size. That'll be another job. First things first, we took a little trip down to the garden centre. I was after some trays that I can use to put my new seedlings into once I've potted them on, so I can pour water into the tray and bottom water them. I love this place. It's just so pretty, and it was nice and quiet this morning, so that was good. I found some trays that I could use, and they are quite nice and sturdy, so I'm happy with those. The first job that we ticked off the list when I got back was to get my husband to line these new strawberry beds that he built for me. So we're just using some rubble sacks here to line them before we can fill them with compost, and then I can finally plant out the strawberries I bought a couple of weeks ago. It felt good to be getting these in. They've been hanging around out in the garden on the table for the last couple of weeks, so they're going to be happy tucked into their new home. I also had a couple of stragglers that had grown over from my original strawberry bed and planted themselves into a couple of pots underneath, so I added them into the bed as well. So I've actually got lots of strawberries to look forward to, I hope. The next thing I noticed when I was walking around the garden was that my Gertrude Jekyll, that you may have seen me prune in my rose pruning video, has put on so much new growth that I needed to do some extra tying in, because it's a climber, so I'm training it horizontally. So I just needed to tie in a few of these whippy stems. These are much easier to tie in, where if I was to leave it to grow a bit bigger, the stems would become less pliable and harder to work with. I'm just bringing you over now to my potting table. We're going to unravel these peas. They're my first early peas, and they've got a space in one of my veg beds. It's the first time I've ever opened up a seed snail like this, and look at the roots on those. Impressive. I am quite worried about them because they're going to be going into a bed next to my broad beans. My broad beans have already been very munched by slugs and snails, and I believe these are going to be in for the same fate. So what I'll probably have to do is go out there this evening with my torch and come to the rescue, I think. I'm just tucking these peas away nicely into their new home now. I just made a simple structure with some bamboo canes, and I'll tie some twine around them so they have something to cling on to as they grow. Next up, we are going to unravel my Sweet Williams. These I'm just going to prick out and pot on into their own individual little pots of compost and pop them in the greenhouse. I have left them outside during the day a couple of times now, so hopefully that will be enough to have hardened them off a little and acclimatise them. It's a fiddly job untangling their roots. Guys, do remember that you're supposed to handle your seedlings by their leaves, not their stem. So, yeah, do not copy me here. Bad example. Are you potting on any of your seedlings right now? And if so, which ones have you got that you're potting on? Do let me know in the comments. This bit's the satisfying bit. So the good thing about using this packing foam, or any material I guess that can be reused for making the seed snails, is that you can just clear all the compost away at the end, which won't be wasted, by the way. I keep used compost like this to top up beds and borders, or to fill pots and then use fresh compost on top. So yeah, you can tidy away your mess and fold up your fabric, material, whatever you've used, in this case packing foam, and reuse it again at a later date, which I think is pretty cool. Moving on now to my snapdragons. With these, they probably could have just been pricked out and then respaced and rolled back up into the seed snail, to be honest. As I was taking them out, I've realised I've definitely oversown. But also when I was putting them into their individual pots, they just look too tiny to be in their own pots just yet. It's like they still need their neighbours. I hope that they'll be okay. I just feel like they're quite swamped in those pots. So I did actually end up using a bigger pot as well. And I put about 4 or 5 into a bigger pot. But yeah, most of them did end up in their own individual pot. I just feel like it's probably too soon for them to be in there just yet, really. We'll see how they get on. Here are my pom-pom dahlias. The very first time I've ever sown dahlias from seed. So yeah, I am really excited to see how these turn out. I hope I've not jumped the gun in putting them into their own pots now. Potting them on. I just think that, they've got their true leaves, the first set of true leaves, so I'm pretty sure that they're ready. I don't think they're going to be too happy in these cells for much longer, to be honest. Dahlia tubers. So because a few of mine are now showing some good signs of waking up, they've got some nice sets of leaves on them now. It's time to top them up with some more compost and put some drainage holes in the bottom of the bags. These can now be transferred over into the greenhouse as well to grow on a bit more. I do actually have a few more bags of tubers up in my bedroom that are looking a bit like this too now, so they'll also be added into the greenhouse collection as well during the week. When you take a look at the bottom of the bags, you'll notice a lot of roots, so you just need to be careful when you're piercing holes in these bags. These will just need a nice drink now before they go into the greenhouse. Welcome to my greenhouse, which is a mess if you haven't been in here already. Today we're going to get to grips with that, give the whole thing a bit of a wash and put some seedlings in it, hopefully. I've been so lucky to inherit this greenhouse, but it is falling apart, to be honest. It is very old, so I'm just kind of at the stage of make do amend with it, and seeing how long I can get out of it really before I need to replace it with a new one. I don't think that looks too bad, if I do say so myself. Quite pleased with that. At least all the bird poo's off of it. And here's the seedlings we potted up today. Just need to show you some exciting news. My honesty have started to flower. I'm happy about that. I took the kids and the dog out this afternoon for a little spring walk around one of our pretty local villages, and I thought you guys might like to come along too. It feels like it's been a very fulfilling day today. I've had a lot of productivity in the garden, and we went on this beautiful walk this afternoon as well, which really rounded off the day. I hope you guys have enjoyed this week's video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you are enjoying my content, and that way you'll get notified when I post a new video, and you can continue to follow along with my gardening journey in my home garden and my allotment. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.